Go ahead.
You are listening to the VAHOMA Podcast. Be sure to subscribe.
Thank you. Hi, welcome to the VAHOMA Podcast, episode 34. I'm Tim Abbott. With me is Andrew Smith.
Hey.
Brett Phillips, a.k.a. Bert.
Hello.
And Chris Mason.
Hello, hello.
This is the first time the four of us have been together since March of 2018. So we're doing real great on recording these episodes on a timely manner. Every month, the four of us, we're doing great.
Never fails.
Hi, welcome to the annual podcast.
So we'll probably, since we haven't talked since October, the three of us at least, we're probably just going to go over what we've been playing mostly, because the list is probably long at this point. And then we'll quickly try to talk about maybe the Stadia / XCloud thing that's going to be announced and has been announced. And then Borderlands 3, which I don't know if any of us will be super excited about that game or not. But, you know, figure we touch on it at least. So, Brett, why don't you go ahead and start us off with what you've been playing there, homie? Because usually it's Formula 1 and that's it.
But it is not Formula 1. I've only played one Formula 1 race since October.
Woo!
Wow.
Yes.
Impressive.
You okay?
Yeah, and the new Formula 1 season actually started up 2 weeks ago, so this second weekend is coming up. So, you know, you would think I would be getting back into it. No, okay. Moving on. I've finished Borderlands. No, Borderlands, wow.
One.
I finished BioShock 2.
2, okay.
2. And then I played
2010.
and finished BioShock 3.
Okay.
Infinite. Sorry, Infinite.
I'll say, wait a minute.
It's like, was there a 3? When did 3 come out?
Yeah.
And I played the DLC for Infinite.
So what'd you think of Infinite?
Okay, so my favorite part of Infinite was the interaction between Elizabeth and Booker. So the two of them going back and forth was probably my favorite part. Gameplay wise, it was pretty solid. I'd say pretty solid, and there was a lot of twists and turns in that story.
Yes, it was.
And when it gets to the end and you end up drowning yourself, okay, yeah. When it gets to the end and you drown yourself.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Hey, you were never gonna play it. Come on.
I haven't played this game in a while, and I don't know what to tell you.
So yeah, it was. I definitely enjoyed it. I liked 2 and 3 better than 1. I mean, 1 was still pretty good.
That is blasphemy.
But
Well, you gotta keep in mind, one set the stage
Oh,
for
it did,
everything.
yeah.
Would you
but,
kindly tell me why you think
that was also? See, I saw that coming though.
Sure you did.
I saw something.
I knew something was
Yeah.
a muck with Atlas. I just
What?
wasn't sure
Yeah.
what.
And then, but I mean, yeah, exactly. But
Like,
so
I
you didn't know
didn't- I
exactly. But then
I
when
didn't see
the
that he
"would
was-
you kindly"
Yeah,
was
I
like
didn't
a holy crap.
Yeah.
I didn't
in
see
gaming.
the whole mind control thing.
Sorry, Ashley, if you were listening to this episode and you haven't played BioShock yet, don't pay attention to
Yeah,
that
we're starting
part.
off great.
You should
with
put like a
spoilers.
note in the pie, or just let her know. It's like, skip ahead to like 10 minutes in.
Ashley, please skip that part.
I really liked the way it used U.S. history.
Yes.
The way
Yeah.
it perverted it, basically.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I found myself wandering around looking at things and just appreciating the environment a whole lot more. The only thing I didn't care for was it didn't have a good map system to keep track of things, so you had to do some backtracking if you wanted to find a lot of good stuff.
And every time you backtracked, people
Come back.
come back to you.
Yes, I know. I absolutely.
And I'm like, I was like, okay, I was just through here like 3 minutes ago, and now there's like 15 more people, and I'm just like, that irked me to no end. However, they were good, and if they ever made a fourth one, I would probably check it out. And then, let's see, what else did I play? I played Metal Gear Solid 5 for all of about an hour and 30 minutes.
Have you played the other ones?
And that was enough to tell me I had no idea what was going
there's
on.
no understanding that story.
I
I
had
mean,
no idea
I'll
what-
play
You
the
could
games,
have played the other
but-
4 and still not understand the story.
I had no idea what was going on. The gameplay was not my cup of tea. I just, like, that hour... I got my free Games with Gold download out of that and just deleted it. Yes, I did not pay for that game. I just got it free with gold. Sometime last year. I don't remember when.
It was like during the fall sometime, I think.
It might even be before that. That was a while ago.
Yeah. So I just, like, I know there's a lot of people out there. Obviously, they've made at least 5 of them, if not 6 by now.
Oh, there's plenty others.
So
There's a bunch of little spin-off stuff, too, for Metal Gear.
Yeah.
And then,
Like
obviously, the
handheld.
original Metal Gear is like an NES game from
Yeah.
the 80s.
yeah, so it's like, you know, I know a lot of people really enjoy those games. It just
Metal
wasn't
Gear
for me.
Solid on the PlayStation
Was a classic.
Was the classic.
Isn't there something about, like, Solid Snake or something like that? Isn't
Oh,
that
yeah,
what it is?
That's who you were in that game.
Oh. My bad.
I played Metal Gear Solid Revengeance, which is not really a mainline Metal Gear game.
Yeah, it started getting convoluted very much.
Yeah, real fast. I couldn't tell you the story. I don't know. There's twins and then random things and shooting stuff. I don't know.
There's robots.
And lots of robots.
Plug the
There's Metal
controller
Gear.
in. Plug the controller out. Yeah.
Then,
PlayStation.
That was like a long... Yeah, I've heard about it. I've never done that.
Oh, yeah. That was the Mantis fight in Metal Gear Solid. The only way to beat it is
That-
to
that-
take the controller out, and take the memory card out, and plug it into player 2, because that's why Mantis
Yeah.
would mirror your image. It would mirror your
Wow.
moves, and you couldn't beat him unless you actually physically moved the memory card over, and the controller.
That's
And-
cool. I
Or
always
it's like,
can't
I like
see,
when they
like,
scanned your
stuff like
memory
that.
card and he's like, I see you've played. Oh, and he says like what
Yeah.
type of Konami game it was, and you're like, how did you know?
Yeah.
But the only other game I've been playing is the latest Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Correct.
Got it for Christmas and finally busted it open earlier this month, and it I really like it. It is right in line with the other two. You know, this is a reboot of the franchise. This was Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah. So it's right in line with those two games. If you played either of them and enjoyed them at all, you're gonna enjoy this one. I really like it. Obviously, again, you touched on history earlier. I like the history. So it's really, really fun. It's a really pretty game. I was
Especially for one that Crystal Dynamics didn't do.
I was playing it last night, and Haley came down, and right as I got to the Lost City, and she's like, "Oh, hey, that looks really pretty," and she's like, "I'm like, move, I'm trying to see the TV." And so it's really, really good looking game, and like I said, I really like it. It's just, you know, a character I enjoy. I'd never really enjoyed any of the. I mean, I played like 2 of the Tomb Raiders before, you know, the old style, and they were all right. They were entertaining, but I never like really enjoyed them. So these ones I really enjoy. So, and the interesting thing is you can actually change your Laura so that she's one of the old
Pixelated ones.
old pixelated ones. So it's like you can have one where she's got like square corners on her body, or it's just really weird. If you want to go old school like that, you know. But I never played any that old school. But anyway, I really enjoy them. I highly recommend it. And I'm pretty sure.
Your phone.
Pretty sure that's it.
Your phone.
Oh, right. I have been playing a game on my phone, which I downloaded an app for. It's the only app I've ever bought. It is called Motorsport Manager 3. And basically you create a race team and you have to work your way up through the divisions. You know, it's very, very, and you eventually get to Formula 1. They don't call it Formula 1, but it really is Formula 1. They have different...
They didn't get that license.
No. They have different different racing types. They have like single-seater, like IndyCar and Formula One looking cars. They have GT racing, and then they have endurance racing. So you get the GT and the Formula One, the single-seaters, you just have one driver per car. When you get to the endurance racing, you have 3 drivers per car, and you have to swap them out because they get tired before, and all 3 drivers have to complete at least one lap. So not only do you have to sign 6 drivers because you have 2 cars, you have to sign and pay for 6 drivers, and then you have to manage them throughout the race. You don't actually do any of the racing. You just tell them when to pit, when to push hard, when to conserve tires, when to conserve gas, that sort of thing. Then you build like parts and stuff to upgrade your car, and research and develop the next. Decide whether you're gonna continue fighting for this year's championship, or you're gonna stop fighting for this year's championship and allocate resources to the next year's car. Because you could just focus on this year to win the championship, but the next year you're like crap because you didn't
use all your stuff.
You didn't put any resources into next year's car. So it's pretty realistic in a basic sort of way. As far as that's pretty much how it works in the real world. But I really enjoy it for $3.99. I've definitely gotten $3.99 out of it. $3.99 out of it.
That's good.
So.
We're officially the only video game podcast to talk about Motorsport Manager 3.
Yep.
Motorsport Manager 1 is free on Android if you want to pick that up. It's pretty basic, but
there you go.
Yeah. Well, get your feet wet, and then you can graduate to the third one.
Okay. Thank you, Berticus. And Andrew, what you got for me?
So I'm going to try to work from the most recent until what I can remember. The most recent game I played was Devil May Cry 5.
Okay.
Which is it's a lot of fun.
I really want it.
It's really fun. There's so many different ways to play that. Like, you have Nero, the guy that like starts out. You see like in all the trailers has like the different arms or whatever. You have his basic move set, and then they add these things called Devil Breakers, which is different types of arms that do different things. There's like so much different like things that I haven't even like figured out yet. Like since it's Capcom, there's a Mega Man, Mega Blaster one you could find.
I think I've seen
and that thing, like the ultimate on that is like just a big beam, just like killing everything. But there's like one thing I like about that game is that there's so many different like little systems you could play how you want to. Then there's different playable characters. So you have Nero, the main guy, and then you have a guy called V. And the way that he works...
Virgil?
Huh?
Is that Virgil?
It's a new character for this game, but he commands like... I forget what they call him in the game, but like basically sounds like a demon panther, like a demon like raven or whatever. And like you stand back and you tell them what to do to attack. So like, and the only way to like finish off, like kill the demon or whatever, you come in with your cane, then like finish them off. So it's like a really interesting like stand back, work the enemies down, wear them down. Then you come in, you have to go in and finish them off, which I wasn't sure as at first, but it's actually kind of fun because like the animals and stuff are pretty responsive. I haven't gotten to Dante yet. I'm like 5 hours in, but he has a motorcycle that breaks in half. And you fight people with that, so I'm looking forward to doing that eventually.
Nice.
But the gameplay, if you like beat 'em ups and stuff like that, like Bayonetta and stuff like that, it's a really fun game, and the game is pretty. Holy crap! Like even on, I'm playing on PC, but I'm watching people play it on like Xbox One or PS4, and it still is a gorgeous game.
Are you using a controller for that on PC? Or
Yeah, I'm using a
keyboard and mouse?
controller because with those kind of games, I need so many keys on the keyboard that I'm just used to playing those games on a controller.
Yeah.
That's the main one. Playing Monster Hunter randomly with people from work. That's a lot of fun with friends.
It's not a lot of fun without friends. I'll just throw that out there.
Well, you want to get on my time schedule, we can play. There's a Witcher mission in that game that I haven't gotten to yet, which is kind of cool. Apparently, he plays Geralt and you fight like a Witcher monster or whatever, which is fun because I love Witcher 3. Yeah, it's a fun game. And then the last played the Division 2 beta. The last stuff popped up on the screen. Was like, nope. It was fun, like shooting stuff like that, but
I've been playing that like crazy.
Yeah, I can see why people like love it, but I just really don't have the time for that kind of game, really. And, like, even in the beta, there's like so many things like popping up on the map. It's like, what do I do? It's like, I know it's funny, like you complain like in Destiny 2, it's like there's not enough to do, but that's too much in Division 2. But
the beta, they threw a lot at you in the beta, and
yeah,
in
like
the
you
actual
go into
game,
like
they're streamlining it more.
I've kind of thought about getting it, but I'm like, that's a time commitment to like how far are you in it?
I didn't play it this past week, but last week and stuff when the game came out, I'm about level. How am I now? 18, I think.
So
Goes to
decent
30.
chunk.
Before the in-game stuff starts, where you're like, a new boss shows up at level 30.
Yeah, I've heard
or
that
new
game's pretty good
enemies
for
and
that game.
They did a good job of, like, as far as the in-game content and stuff along those
Yeah.
lines. They've added a lot to it.
I'm trying to think
It's
back.
fun.
Yeah, last fall there was Fallout 76. Anyway, what else?
Red Dead was in there. Did you play Red Dead?
I started it.
I think that's going to be everybody's answer for Red Dead.
Yeah, it's what mine is.
I got it on the One X. It's like pretty game. There's so much detail in that game, and I could definitely. I honestly do want to like go back and like at least give it another shot. Those controls, that and the gameplay of like the past couple Rockstar games is like left trigger shoot, left trigger shoot. And it's yeah.
For that, it was just it's the time commitment for that game. Like you
That
can't,
too,
what I was-
because
that's what
that's
I
you
was
can't sit
using
down and be like,
game.
I'm going to play 45 minutes. It's like, you're going to spend 45 minutes
Just
getting to the mission
just messing around. Yeah,
before you actually go to start something. You have to be like, okay, I'm going to play 2 or 3 hours.
yeah.
And it's like, every night I was playing multiplayer stuff with Dunk or something along those
Oh, you
lines.
did
So
that
it's-
online?
I haven't done the Red Dead Online yet. So,
Oh.
but I'm just saying, like, instead of coming to a single-player game, I was being asked to come play
Oh, I see what
PUBG
you're
or
saying.
Fortnite
Yeah.
or Apex, like all these other different games and stuff. So
Mhm.
it's like, okay, I'm going to sit down and play a single-player game. It's like I've been playing just multiplayer stuff. So.
So I did play Apex, and I'm sure you'll talk about that, so I'll let you do that, because you probably play a lot more than I have.
I played a lot of it. I have a love-hate relationship with that game right now.
It's a fun game, but the only comment I'll throw in is, like, of course, PUBG is, like, I pop in every once in a while, just to, like, play a few games just to get that, scratch that itch, but, seems like with Apex, it's so fast-paced, which is it's definitely a good thing for the...
it looks very
VR.
Overwatchy.
Oh, it's Overwatch meets Black
a
Ops.
little bit.
Like, that is what it is. Or it's Overwatch and Titanfall.
I
mixed.
guess we'll just talk about it now since we're getting into it. But the thing in PUBG, like it's a good and a bad thing about that game is like it's a time commitment. Time to kill is really short, so you need to like always watch out. And it's like whenever you get into a game, you gear up, you're like sneaking around, you get a couple close gunfights, and then you like make like top 10. It's like feels like rewarding. It's like all right, I did well that match. But if you get a drop out of nowhere, you get bad loot, and then you're playing for 30 minutes, then you just get one shot by a guy who got a crate AWM and just one shot you. Was like, that sucks. But in Apex, it's so fast paced, you don't feel invested in the game from game to game. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's like you're just playing.
No,
I died. Go
It
back.
is one of the things, like, with Apex, it is once you've landed, you find your stuff really fast, and then it's just go, 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 go.
Yeah.
I mean, matches can be over in 14 minutes or max 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's one thing I kind of like.
Like PUBG, it's 30.
35 sometimes.
Sandhawk is 22 minutes, but
Yeah.
all the other maps were 30 to 34 minutes.
Yeah.
So but it's like, of the wins I've gotten in Apex and stuff, it's still not nearly as rewarding as a PUBG win, or the adrenaline's not nearly as there. Like in PUBG, like
every time you start playing PUBG, like the first fight you get into that night, your heart is like pumping.
yeah, it's exciting and stuff along those lines. Whereas Fortnite with Apex, you're just getting like, and then like some stuff doesn't make sense. You feel like you're getting shot, and it's like you're like, I don't know how the hell all of a sudden like all my like I felt like I had a good shield. Next thing I know, I'm almost dead, and then I'm dead, and it's like what? I feel like I only got shot 3 times, but then I feel like I'm shooting somebody. But my biggest problem is like playing PUBG and stuff. I play in third person, so it's like I'm able to disconnect that brain and stuff along those lines when it comes to PC controlling and stuff. When I'm playing Apex and it being in first person and it controls like Titanfall and it controls like that, my brain reverts back to, like, in a panic mode, I go back to reflex, which reflex is controller, and so I look for the aim assist. And so if I fight somebody and I lose track of them, I whip like I would with a controller to try and wait for it to grab again. I'm like, there you are. And then I go. Well, on a mouse, it's whee! I'm flying over top, and so I don't have, like, I can't tell myself, like, calm down and focus your shot. Actually, instead of, like, trying to have the game aim for me, actually make myself aim. And that's just a mental barrier thing of playing so many Call of Duties and Halos and stuff on Xbox that converting to a PC, it's like I've got to teach my brain to not rely on. But like I said, with PUBG and in Fortnite to an extent, because I've only played on PC, like I don't revert to, like, instinct doesn't kick in. Yeah. So it's a weird thing for me when it comes to that game. I digress. Go ahead.
And also randomly, friends of work between Monster Hunter, we're playing Battlefield 4.
4?
Yeah, 4.
Okay.
Because I really like that game. Because there's, like, just so much stuff. And we also played Battlefield 1.
That is one of my favorite multiplayer games.
It's a fun. It's a fun game. But the Battlefield 4, there's so much more to unlock and stuff like that. I mean, Battlefield 1 is still fun, but I just remember that, so I threw that in there. I think I'm gonna call it there because last fall, I think the only one I was looking forward to is Fallout 76, and that was disappointment to say the least. Got my helmet.
There you go.
So,
we should have your helmet.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Nah. Sometimes you're not here since, like, August.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to call it there and I'll chime in whenever. Because I'm sure you guys will probably mention things that I've played also.
So I'll go. And then I'll have you finish. Sound good?
Okay.
Because usually your rant will lead into something else we'll talk about.
I don't know what you're talking
about. So I made sure to actually write down my games when I was playing them, so I wouldn't forget. So, shocker, PUBG and Fortnite. Shocker there.
And Rocket League. Still playing Rocket League.
But, so, like, with PUBG, it's been, the new map, Vikendi, was out, so we've been playing that, snow map. It's a fun map, but it's so weird in the design of the map that they're like, big open map, so let's limit the sniper rifles and make it an SMG map. It's like, but SMGs are for close quarters stuff, and you made a big open map. What is your, why?
Yeah, it's just, it's so exciting when you find a DMR.
And then ARs were limited on that game. They eventually patched it to, like, up the AR spawns, but they took away the DMR spawn. So now you got to budget use a M16 as your sniper rifle.
At least they buffed it. At least
they have, like, with this patch that came out on Tuesday, they buffed the M16 now to give it more power, and they put a tac stock on it now.
Yeah.
And then the UMP randomly now uses 45 ammo. And they're adding the MP5.
Probably just because the Vector, ammo. You could just melt people no matter if you...
and the Vectors went to 9mm ammo.
So it's a little bit weaker now.
And the MP5 is replacing the Vector on Vikendi.
That's right, yeah.
Little random things that they do. You're like, wait, now I gotta learn something new again? Wait, what?
I mean, I appreciate having the new weapons, but, like, replacing a weapon, why can't... I just don't see why you can't have all the weapons on every map.
Who knows? Like I said, one of the things, like, for that company and stuff along those lines, I feel like they just stumbled into, like, a really great game.
Oh, yeah, they definitely did.
They don't have the developers, like, the talented developers, like, to make that game great and balanced and stuff along those lines. Like, they do a good job. They have good artists and stuff along those lines, and the game runs, at least, and it's way better than it was.
It runs really well now.
Than when it did. But it's not you can tell they don't have, like, what Epic has, as far as talent and the money and the respawn and stuff along those lines. And then with Fortnite, I was looking at the note thing. Apparently, last time we talked, PlayStation hadn't done the crossplay with Fortnite. They had announced it, but they hadn't played it yet. So the fact that now it exists, and I think it's really cool in the fact that when I was been playing with Raw and Zoom and their friend of theirs, Jay, where Jay is in Hawaii on a PlayStation. Raw is on her Xbox in Mexico. Zoom is in California on a PC using a controller. And then I'm in West Virginia using a PC, a mouse, and keyboard. And the fact that all four of us can play together and talk together, and there's no issues, no anything along those lines, and it just works.
I really hope that's a standard thing. It
should, like I said, hopefully it becomes a standard thing of more games adopt that ability.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, like with Xbox and stuff along those lines, being very open to the idea of crossplay, that it might become more of a staple for their stuff, like moving forward. Mm-hmm. Like when Gears comes out, I'm hoping that they're very much like PC and Xbox play together.
Well, wasn't I think the multiplayer you could have PC and
I don't know if they ever
console.
Played against each other.
Really? I could be misremembering something.
Kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Oop, wrong site. But the idea of like being able to play together and party up and stuff along those lines, I hope that becomes a standard. Because it's really fun, though. It's really fun playing whenever I go to play Fortnite, because like they are the people that are in multiplayer right now are freaking like hardcore. Like they're like, I am going for the championship win and stuff along those lines, and you're like, I
just want to shoot.
I can build a wall and a ramp.
I can't even.
But I can't do 3 stories and then these build battles. So like, I watch like Ninja and Tem the Tatman and Courage stuff, and they're in these like crazy build battle stuff.
You could get sick.
And like watching them play, and I'm like, okay. And then like I sit down and I play the game. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm playing the same game they are. Yeah, we've won, but it's like sometimes you win, sometimes you just. But it's like as soon as I get like they're 3 stories above me, I go, hey, you're better at this game than me. So, okay, if you kill me, whatever. I'm gonna try and put up a fight. But if I lose, okay, whatever. Like that game does. I don't go into Fortnite going, I've got to win, or I want that drill. Fortnite's more about the social experience of playing with Zoom and Raw and Jay and just laughing and goofing and stuff. Like one of my favorite clips I was showing Agent M over there was Raw slipped and fell off the map and off a rock, and so she falls and she knocks herself out. She's like, oh, I'm dead. And then you hear she gets knocked out. So me and Zoom both run over to her, and we go to res her. We both just start dancing right next to her. And then we make Jay run over and start dancing with us before we'll res Raw. So it's just this random little funny clip like that. That's Fortnite to me. Like I'm not trying. Like I would want to win, and I will always like try and win my fights and stuff. But if I lose a fight, I'm not mad. Like if I lose a fight in PUBG, I'm mad. Because I've gotten to the point now where it's like I feel like I'm good enough at that game. Like I should be able to win fights. And so when I lose a fight, I'm like, son of a.
Yeah.
And then I played Apex Legends, which I also Black Ops 4, played that too. Not that more, but I was playing that more on console. Never played Blackout. So one time I went to play Blackout with Dunk. The game crashed on us.
Nice.
So we just never went back. But we were playing the multiplayer stuff for that, and that multiplayer is fun. I like the abilities of the different characters and stuff along those lines and everything. I thought it was a fun multiplayer game. It's just we moved on to other stuff.
I wish it had a campaign, because it has elements from Black Ops 1, 2, and 3, story-wise, in there. It's enough to make you mad if you were a fan of the campaign, if you're a fan of the story, which I was. And it's enough to make you mad that, like, okay, you didn't have to put these little clips in here, like, and rub it in that there is no story, there is no campaign, but we're going to kind of give you a story in the multiplayer bios and everything. And
yeah, like they had some, like, each character has, like, their own, like, learning mission type thing, and it's just...
Well, the guy who does the missions, he's from the other ones.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you noticed the screen, like some of the load screens, it's the numbers.
Yeah.
Was that 1?
Yeah. I think it's
what do the numbers mean, Mason?
Basically, that's what they are.
Wow.
And
the
main woman's last name is Mason. And I'm like, okay, you should have had a campaign. I'm like,
Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 were 2 of the best single-player campaigns I've ever played.
I loved them.
And that's in a Call of Duty game, which they don't focus on them.
Right.
They're about multiplayer. And those are 2 of the best campaigns I've ever played.
So, did play Black Ops. We're going to go down the whole, like, shooter thing. So then I played Apex Legends when that came out. Like everyone else did, because it's free. Mm-hmm. So why not? And I have a love-hate relationship with that game. where it's I have fun playing it at times, but then I get very frustrated in the fact of like I go to shoot somebody and then they don't die. And then somehow like or like random things like one of my clips I have saved is like I shotgunned the guy for 110. My next 2 shots were 8 and 8 because like that? He went down like a hill like a ran like off the deck, and so all my shots hit like the railing and the floor of the deck and didn't actually hit him. So like I had like 1 pellet hit him for like 8 twice. I was like, really? I broke his shield and did damage to his health, only to have it like dink dink gone. Yeah. And so it was like, and then they shot and killed me. I was like, that's great. But constant wins in that game, but it's not. I don't. Again, like we were talking, I don't get this adrenaline rush that I do from a PUBG win. So I've been playing that. I touched AC Odyssey for like a second. Fun, cool game.
That's still in the wrapper. That's coming after Tomb Raider.
But I don't know when I'll go back to that game.
Yeah.
I play PC Building Simulator.
Wow.
That game's actually a lot of fun. So,
in case you guys don't know, it's literally what the title says. You're making a PC.
You own a PC built like a PC like repair shop, and the people send in orders like my computer is not working. Or can I get a better graphics card? And so you go to the computer, you grab they ship your computer to you. You get their computer, you put it on the desk. You
unplug the cables and everything.
You unplug the cables. You take the side off. You take out their graphics card. You go order a new graphics card. You wait a day. The new graphics card gets delivered. You put the graphics card in. You put everything back together. You make sure it boots. Then you put it back, and then you tell the person that their thing's done, and you get paid for it.
Wow, that's a game.
It's one of the things. Like it's a fun like just turn on music, and it's just a puzzle game. At the end of the day, that's all it is. Like somebody's like, I'm having problems like. My computer might be a little dusty too. Is that a problem? And like you open it up, it's like it's just covered in dust. So you gotta get like your sprayer, and so you're spraying the computer to clean it out, and then taking out the parts and stuff that you need, and trying to figure out where something is. You're like, oh, I gotta take this off to get to this thing. That sucks. And
click.
And it's like hold here to unscrew this screw. So I was like, and everything. Surprisingly fun, but it's a randomly weird game to play, but played that. We talked Red Dead. I've only played. I think I made it like chapter 2. And as much as I love the first Red Dead, that's a game that it's stupidly pretty. Easily the best game I've ever seen, especially for our console stuff and everything. But the fact with that game is that you have to dedicate time to it. And its stuff became very slow and tedious, and I just got distracted by other stuff and moved on.
Yeah.
But at some point I may go back to it. It's one of those times. Maybe I'll start actually trying to stream that one, because that's been more of my... So I was playing in my theater room, my nice big 4K television and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm so used to playing in my office. And stuff along those lines, so it's... I kind of might... transfer it in there and maybe play in there. I don't know. One day. So I played that. Apex Legends. I did Life is Strange Season 1 and Before the Storm. So I don't know if you played any of those games.
No. I know those they are.
So the streamers I met like 2 months ago, Ashley and Keith, husband and wife type thing, and Ash is really new to gaming in general. Like, she's just never been a gamer and stuff. So watching her like transition to like games are really good and like stories and like emotion stuff along those lines. So I was watching her play like Life is Strange, like because it's something she can understand. Like the controls are not that bad, and it's a good one to learn stuff in, but still get emotionally invested in the story and stuff. But oh my god, every episode in that game just ends sad. It's heartbreaking. And then, like, Before the Storm, which is, like, a prequel to the Life is Strange Season 1, it eventually ends happy, only to you then remember, like, what happened in Life is Strange Season 1. You're like, I get sad again. Because you liked the characters a lot from Before the Storm, and then you're like, oh, right, bad things happen to them in Season 1.
It's like the ending of Life is Strange.
It hurts.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's a great story to experience and stuff along those lines, but my god, is it heartbreaking. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, if you cried like stories and stuff along those lines, it can break you. And it was like, oh, that's lovely. So those were interesting games. So I played those. I played The Division 2. So we talked about that. Been playing that on PC. It's really fun playing it being in DC and stuff along those lines. And like when we went to the FBI building and started running through there, and I just kept being like, "That's some BS. You don't get off an elevator and go instantly into any room in the Hoover building. Like it's miles of hallways before you get anywhere you want to go in that building." But going to the Hoover building or going to
the Smithsonian. Do they have that?
I went to the Air and Space Museum.
Okay.
Did American History Museum was one of the things, but it's cool. Like the level designs are fantastic in that game. As far as like the Air and Space Museum, we got into a fight during one of they had still going on was the star displays, and so it's like talking about the stars and all sort of stuff, and like the transitions and stuff is going on, and like this thing while I'm in a gunfight. Or the American History Museum stuff was like, it's like, oh, we're talking about and we're in a Vietnam War exhibit, and so it's random jungle stuff and everything with like little plaques and like kind of things, but I'm in the middle of a gunfight in this like museum.
Yeah.
And so the level design stuff is really cool in that game. Like I said, I didn't play it this week just mainly because it was timing and stuff along those lines, and I've been playing it with Dunk, so I don't want to level up too much without him, because that game, while I say I'm level 18 and you're level 1 and I join you, it makes the enemy characters the level of whoever joined you, however the highest level person is, and then it gives you, the person who's with you, a buff to one level below you. So if I'm an 18, it would make you a 17.
Oh, wow.
But your guns are still not nearly the same damage level.
So you don't get one shot necessarily.
So you still get wrecked.
Oh, well. Okay.
If you are, playing with somebody that's a higher level.
So it's like you can play, kinda, but not really.
You have to be, if you are the lower level person, you have to be very cautious and very in cover, and you can't be aggressive, and you have to be very focused. But the stuff in that thing of, like, I have a drone and a turret that are my two specials. So, like, I see an enemy, I can pop up my drone, which is a little flying drone, and then I take my turret out and I put my turret up on, like, the wall thing, and then I tell my drone, go attack the enemy. So my drone flies over, and I tell my turret to attack the enemy, and so I just got these two, like, turret things just melting bullets into the guy as I'm firing on the person, too, and then Dunk's firing on this thing, and, like, so our big bosses are going down pretty fast, which is because I'm, like, they get so distracted by the drone shooting them, they're, like, trying to figure out what's going on with the drone. It's really funny, because then it's just, we just start shooting at them from all sides. But it's been a pretty cool, it's a fun game. I'm excited to continue playing it and get along those lines. I was waiting for some other people to also catch up and level and stuff along those lines, so when the in-game content starts, like, we can participate in it a little bit more.
They're supposed to have, like, raids and stuff like that.
Yeah, raids are coming and stuff. And I played a little tiny bit of Sunset Overdrive.
Wow.
So I beat that game on the Xbox way back in the day when it came out, but I bought it on PC recently, and so I was just trying it out on PC.
It came out there,
the game's still really funny and looks gorgeous and runs great. And so I look forward to playing more of that. And then the last thing was, again, these group of streamers and stuff that I met, like Ashley and Keith. And so then it's like, hi Ash, hi Keith, hi RJ, AJ, Rage, and Rob. Because they may actually listen to this. Because there's one nice thing is, like, all us being all the same age, or around the same age, like, we all support each other and show stuff along those lines. But they do iRacing. And so I was watching them do iRacing, and I wanted to get really I was like, I kind of want to do that. And so I bought me a racing wheel for my PC. So it's an actual wheel and pedals, and I have a stand and stuff along those lines. And iRacing is simulation racing. So it's a service you sign up to, but the tracks are extremely accurate. The cars are extremely accurate in the way they run and the way they go. So where, like, NASCAR drivers would use this stuff to practice.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Dale Jr. is quoted as saying, like, he has done a track in iRacing that he's never seen before, learned it in iRacing. When he got to the track, he knew how to drive it.
Wow.
Dale Jr. is a very big proponent for iRacing. He really loves it and stuff along those lines. And so they do NASCAR, iRacing, or IndyCar, Formula One. They have those type of cars, but then you have your Mazdas and Toyotas, your GT cars. They have dirt track. They have the big wing dirt cars and stuff that are sliding all over the place. You can do those types of races too.
Is it the World? I think that's the World of Outlaws.
World of Outlaws, yeah, exactly. They have those, or the dirt trucks and stuff along those lines that race those. So they have all these different options and stuff along those lines you can play. So I just got my wheel this week. So I just got it set up. I ran one race of like doing practice. The first thing I was like, I know Charlotte Motor Speedway. I at least know how that tracks. I know NASCAR. And I got into it. First thing I did was spin out instantly. And I was like, okay, so I don't know what's going on. So I had to get like one of those guys to like join the chat with me to be like, okay, what do I need to do to like make this make sense and like kind of thing, and like what do I need to focus on? And one of the nice things that they do is they have like a rating system, so that like me being a rookie, I'm supposed to be playing with other rookies, so that I'm not in a race with somebody that's an A level, because they're trying to race like very hardcore and race it right, whereas I'm the rookie and like I don't know what's going on, so I may wreck them.
Yeah.
And so it's about trying to keep you like, once you know how you're racing, your safety level, like you know you can race and not cause problems, you'll eventually like level up. And then you can start racing other types of races and with different cars and stuff along those lines, and everything's scheduled and everything's run on their servers and stuff. It's very impressive and it's very cool, but it's like, it's just you gotta aggress kind of thing. But I did my one race. My whole goal was to at least finish the thing and don't wreck. Or don't cause a wreck. Mm-hmm. And I avoided like 3 wrecks. One of them was the dude, I watched the guy wreck a dude right in front of me. And as he was spinning him out, I had to like let off the gas hard. And it bumped the guy in front of me a little bit. But then I managed to like duck around him and get out of the way. And so I went on to finish 5th. So I was very excited. I was like, I finished. I didn't die. All right, progress. So I'm probably going to play that some more tomorrow, and then over the time frame stuff, that I'm committed to learning that. So, but that was all I've been playing. Only a few things.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun. Like I'm interested to see where it goes and everything along those lines. But anyways, so Chris, what you got for me? Oh, wait, sorry. Last thing I forgot to say was I played Borderlands 2. So, because it was on sale on Steam, and I was watching again another friend playing it, and I was like, I want to play that again. So I wanted to play it on again PC, and so I started playing that, and I was like, man, this game's fun. So I'm like a level 12, I'm like nothing,
barely beginning,
but it's fun. Like so. All right, that's all I've been playing. A few things.
Good.
I'm good now. Chris, go ahead.
That
You
it?
do your thing.
Is that it? Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe I might have a chime in thing. I think you said you played Anthem.
I played Forza Horizon 4.
There you go.
So I've got a lot of games started and not a lot finished. Red Dead, we talked about, that's the same kind of thing. I know the commitment that is going to require. I think I'm not even out the prologue yet because I don't feel like I can sit there for like 3 hours, and I'm like, I don't want to sit there for 3 hours to go through it, but I got to be able to want to do that to get that game. I got Darksiders 3.
Okay.
I played that one too.
I've got a good amount of time in it. I really, really like it. It's harder than the other ones by far, but and you know, this is going to be hard to believe, but I found a loop where I could grind, and
Really?
I've been stuck there for hours and hours and hours.
Is this by choice?
Yes.
Okay, that's where I needed to.
It is a loop where I found that the enemies, if you wait long enough, will. It's basically, you know, you get the teleporter that will teleport you to different worlds. Well, once you spend so much time in another world, the enemies respawn. And I found a loop where I could teleport here. By the time I walk all the way where I am in the game, they're back here. So then I'd come back and do the same thing. And then I'd get the souls and I do the same. The only thing is, if you die, you lose it all.
Oh.
So there's save points that you got to be careful of, and there's some. It's hard, even though these are some basic enemies. They can still they'll mess you up if you just have a bad combo and you just can't get yourself back on track. You'll die, and I speak from experience. But I'm liking the story, and I cannot wait because it is just like Darksiders 1, just like Darksiders 2. It is an interconnected story. I fully expect the Darksiders 4, but I kind of, like I said, I got distracted after I found that loop, but I plan on coming back. Just because that was like one of my biggest complaints with God of War. Was I love God of War. I haven't played the new one because that's on PS4, but all the other God of Wars, what I hated was the fact is you you really couldn't get everything you wanted because there was no enemy respawn. There's really no area that you could go back and get more souls or whatever currency it is. And Darksiders 1 and 2 kind of did that. It didn't take as long, and I found some specific areas that kind of help things go along. So the grinding I'm doing is trying to get some of my health up, and of course like that kind of my strength up, and there's different things in it. But Darksiders 3 is by far one of the better games, I'm thinking, from the other series. I'm enjoying it. Then I started playing We Happy Few.
Okay.
That game is a bit confusing. It looked like it would be BioShock. It is not BioShock. By any stretch of the imagination, it's not. The story is a bit confusing. It's like England, but parallel universe England, and everybody's on, joy, and if you're not on this pill that makes you like that, then you're against the state, you're an enemy of the state. So apparently there's 4 main characters, and the game jumps between characters. So it's hard to piece everything together, because like when you first start, you're just in an office and you forgot to take your joy, and they're like, oh, you forgot to take your joy, get him, kind of a thing. And it's like, you really don't know why or what. And I think it's part of the joy, because you're having flashbacks, so I'm remembering things, but so far the story's very confusing. It's also one of those games where it's a very open world, but you're very limited on resources, and you come across tons of stuff, and you can only carry so much. So that one's
the bane of your existence. Limited resource carrying.
I know. It has a spot where you can dump stuff off, but it's not easy to get to. And it takes some time to get to it, so you got to walk all the way across the map to get to the spot that you need to dump stuff off.
And Chris needs all of it.
I need every bit of it. Every flower, every vegetable, every pot and pan.
All of it.
I must have it all. So I started that. I've kind of gone through that. Far Cry New Dawn came out, and I was very excited for it. I've gotten distracted from it, but I'm coming back to it. I really, really want to make sure that everybody knows it is not DLC. It does not feel like DLC. It does not look like DLC. There are characters from Far Cry 5. This is, their first sequel for a Far Cry game. It's a direct sequel for Far Cry 5. You find out in the game that what's his name? Who's the main bad guy? Joseph Seed?
Yeah.
Joseph Seed. All right, so he's out the bunker. You know where he's at? He's not the main bad guy. Him and everybody else, they've created a new place, and it's like on the other side of the map. But when you look at the map, it's the same map from Far Cry 5. And you're going through, and there's people there. There are things there that relate back to Far Cry 5. So I'm very much enjoying going through it. The mechanics, as far as gameplay, it feels like Far Cry 5. But the mechanics of it are completely different. You have a central base, and the central base you have to level up.
Okay.
So you can't get access to, so everything's level tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Vehicles, weapons, everything, whether it's melee, assault rifles, sniper rifles, everything has a tier. So of course the more powerful ones are the later tiers. If you played Far Cry 5 and you had the save data, it gave you a couple of tier 2 weapons that you have instant access for, even though you don't have access to tier 2 weapons until you level up your armory at your base to tier 2. In order to do that, you need petroleum, basically oil. And that's where everything in the game that you're doing, that you were getting rep for, basically, in Far Cry 5, you were getting ethanol. Yep. You're getting ethanol to spend...
Petroleum, ethanol.
Whatever, same thing, gas.
Do the same thing.
But you're spending it on your base, but you have to be very selective. It's also very similar, as in all the little things that Far Cry 5 did, where, they'd have a truck driving down the road that had people in it that you could let out. They had a truck driving down the road that if you stopped it and opened it up, there was a gun in the back. Well, very quickly, that kind of stuff, other than rep, that was it. And then once you got your rep up, you didn't need it anymore, and the guns and stuff inside of it was never anything good. Because by that point, once you get to that point, you've gotten all kinds of great weapons. This is scaled where you have to grind to get your ethanol, and then you have to pick what you want. If you want to up this weapon, if you want to up maps to show certain things, you have to up the topographical area in your, the base, and the base has like 5 or 6 different things. So it's making you choose. It's not just, hey, it's Far Cry 5, open it up again, because Far Cry 5 was very similar to Far Cry 4. Nothing like that. But like those little things that you're doing, everything has ethanol. And there's so much that you can spend ethanol on that it makes it worth it. I found a crossroad where there was a barn, and enemies tend to respawn a lot quicker in this game than I've noticed. I found a barn, and it's a 3-way stop, dirt road. It's a lot of traffic. I stood there for like an hour and a half and just waited for something to come down the road. I have a sniper rifle. I would snipe the driver and then get the stuff. And then by the time I ran down the road and did that, the guys are back at the barn. I go back to the barn, kill those guys. Then I come back, and here's a guy walking a prisoner through the woods. I go get him. So I basically just kind of kept making a circle. It's just lots and lots of stuff like that. So it feels like a different game, and it feels like a sequel, which is why I was afraid it was going to be DLC. So if you like Far Cry 5, it's on sale for $19.99 now. It was $39.99 when it came out, but it's still on sale for $19.99. I would highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. I briefly played Kingdom Hearts 3. Again, I want to play that and finish it, but I've gotten distracted. Somebody I know has put a lot of time in it.
Yep.
Agent
She was
M.
telling me at lunch how much she hates that you haven't played it because she wants to talk
She
to
wants
somebody
to
about
talk to me about it. It's one of those games I've been looking forward to for years, and I have it, and it's like...
Just a few years.
Yeah, just a few years. But I'm looking forward to having it, and I just... Again, it doesn't feel like a game that I want to... Like, when I start it, I want to spend time going through the entire level, looking for stuff, finding things, and doing stuff. It's not a game I feel like I can... All right, I got an hour or so. I want to pick it up and try it. And like it feels like I want to have a commitment. Mm-hmm. I know. I'm getting a look. I'm sorry. I'm going to come back to it. Just like we're going to do New Dawn. But Anthem has actually kind of predominantly taken a lot of my time. I've enjoyed Anthem immensely. It's got Destiny elements to it, but it's by far a whole lot more fun right now. Being able to fly around the map.
It's fun, that game.
I have 3 javelins unlocked, and I like the fact that you have each javelin is unique. There is a reason I want to use, I have the Ranger, which you start with. I unlocked the Colossus the second.
That one's fun.
And I have the Interceptor as
the
my
real
third.
Tactical one.
Yeah.
Shocker, Andrew would like the really big one that blows things up.
You can run around with your shield deployed, just run people over.
You can. Well, that's what I was going to say. Every javelin has enough unique abilities. You feel like you're playing with a different character completely. So, it's not like we're Destiny, where you had a grenade and you have a special and a melee. That's different. All the guns are the same. Well, yeah, the guns are same, but there's a whole lot more abilities that you can do with each javelin, and they're all unique to each javelin and how you load out your javelin on top of that. So it's not just that the javelins are different, but you have different things to equip per javelin. So your options are very, very, very spread out and very wide open. And I have found, I thought I was going to be a fan of the Colossus, and I am. Don't get me wrong. But then I unlocked the Interceptor, and I have to say,
it's a ninja.
It is a ninja, but its melee is unlimited. There's no wait, no pause for it. So you hit Y and you just keep hitting Y, and it's quick. So I run up to an enemy and it's 2 blades, and I'm just doing this, and then by far it's so quick. Then you run away. It has an acrobatic jump. It has a triple jump. So it's 1, 2, 3. So you can get in and out really quick. When you crash into something, usually you just fall straight down. When you crash into something with the Interceptor, it flips forward. So if you're up around an edge, it's a lot less of the boom, fall down. It's a lot more boom, and then flip forward, and I'm sitting on top. So I've actually, it's really interesting because I'm a melee person. I like the melee play style, but you would have thought like that would have been more of the bruiser type with the Colossus, whereas this is get in to get out. Like with Agent M has been playing with me. I like, she's got the, which one do you have? The Storm, which is
fun too.
The elemental ones. And she's really enjoying it. And I like the combo because she likes to freeze things, and then I get in and I start wailing away on them, and they get extra damage. But it's just so much fun. The free play, this basically, you got 5 or 6 spots that you can drop in, and then you just fly around. There's just so much that you can explore, and everything's interconnected. But you just fly around, and it's very... Events pop up as you come across and see them. The missions have been pretty good. I want to play more with Agent M. We just haven't had the time, our schedules and everything, because you can play private or a lot of missions. You can play with people. So if you didn't want to do this mission by yourself, you can open it up to the public. Great idea. That's a fantastic idea. It doesn't limit you to have to go find 5 other people to do the content of the game. It's an amazing thing.
Oh, I don't know what game you can talk about.
I don't know what that is either.
I don't know.
Which, by the way, you beat.
Okay, I didn't want to bring it up, but since you did, yeah, I really don't disappointed with Destiny 2. I bought the Forsaken for Agent M, and we played it and beat the content, and we're right back where we started. There's some stuff to do, but again, nothing matters. None of it matters because you can't do any. Their focus, it's obvious. The focus is the raids. It's obvious that there's different kinds of raids now. There are different levels of the raid. There's different loot per the different raids, and like how you do the raid is getting. You could just tell it's not about the story. We played the story, which again, I was psyched up because we wanted to, avenge Cade. That was like the whole thing. It's like we had to kill Cade because we had to make that emotional connection. It is the most disappointing ending ever. It is junk. You do not get the payoff. You do not get what you've like.
Yeah, it wasn't really because I played it on PC because of my time schedule or whatever. It was just like, I guess I'm done now.
Yeah,
it wasn't
it's exactly what we were like. Is that it? Really? That's how it ends? I'm like, that's how we're going to end it?
Random Destiny comment. I was telling Agent M, I almost messaged you guys to be like, hey, is your Destiny 1 updated? Because I want to play Prison of Elders. I was supposed to go doing Prison of Elders.
That would have been fun.
Well, we had such a good rhythm of like, arrow.
Well, that's why
Agent M axes everything.
Exactly. That's why I do like Anthem, because even if we're on a public, but just with Agent M and I playing, I'm like, we get a rhythm, we kind of get a tandem, and, there's a strong, you have strongholds you can do, which strongholds are, basically the upper missions.
Strikes.
It's basically a strike. I've only got 1 unlocked. I've played the Tyrant Mine maybe 50 times so far. Just...
Random side note, Andrew, for Anthem, do you play using the controller or mouse and keyboard?
That's mouse and keyboard.
I have the hardest time with that on mouse
When
and
it comes
keyboard.
to shooting, if I'm playing on a PC, if I'm shooting something, I'm using the mouse. If I'm just melee hacking things, it's a controller.
Okay. Because I was like, when I played the beta for Anthem, I tried it on PC, and I was like, flying was so stupidly difficult for some reason. I don't know what was broken on.
They tuned it in the final release, how...
Because trying to slide with the mouse and pull up and some of those lines, it was like... But then when I went and played the beta on Xbox, it was like, it controlled fine. It controlled great. I was like, this game was designed with Xbox and PlayStation in mind, with a controller in mind, and then they were like, how do we make a mouse and keyboard work? I don't know.
That's what it kind of felt like.
That's what it felt like doing between the two. I was like, you could tell this thing was made for a controller, and I was like, huh. But at the time, I didn't have an adapter for my PC to let me use my controller. I do now, but it was like,
well, just you have Bluetooth on your PC.
I don't know.
No, an Xbox One controller will just hook up. Like the new Xbox Ones have Bluetooth, so that's how
I didn't realize they did have the Bluetooth built in.
So you don't need.
So I just got the little dongle thing you pop in.
If it works,
and that works too. So anyway, sorry to distract you.
No, it is. It's good. Oh, now that's what I like about Anthem. It feels very cooperative. If I want to play by myself, I'll just go into free play, and I'll pick a different javelin. Depending the javelin that you're using is what the loot you're going to get. So that's why I've been playing like the Tyrant Mine a whole lot, because each time so far I haven't capped out. So every time I play, I'm getting worthwhile loot. It's sometimes it's not a whole lot, but I'm getting a few items that are better than what I have. And again, because you've got an assault, you've got this, basically an RB, LB, and LB and RB together, like options. And each one, there's like 5 or 6 different things that you can get, and that's per javelin. So I'm like, I'm going to try, I like this way, but I'm like, I'll try something else. I'll try the cryo one.
The weapon variety, like on the Colossus, you could have, you have your arm and then you have your shoulder. So you have like a mortar for your shoulder. You can have like a shoots at like a wall of flame lays down, or you can have like a shotgun pretty much on your wrist. So.
It sounds like they made that for Andrew.
Yeah. Too bad I only played it, and then I hit the wall where it's like, grind these 50 things. I'm like, no, I'm done. But anyway, it's fun.
I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I like the different play styles that it allows you to do. Like when I'm in the Interceptor, I like there's a Wraith Strike that will basically make a wraith, a ghost of you, and it flies forward, and it's basically flames, and will grab one, and will grab the next adjacent enemy. I like the things that home in and track. Mm-hmm. But they're not nearly as powerful as the things that require you to aim a little bit more. So I started off migrating to a seeker missile for anything that would seeking mines, anything that would seek or home in. I was like, well, then I got used to the game, kind of liked the game, I got used to the control play, then I'm like branching out to different weapon sets, and I'm like, well, I kind of like this, so I'm not recycling everything like I was, and that's not even the guns. The guns you get to pick between 2 guns. You got sniper rifles, you have marksman rifles, pistols, machine pistols, heavy pistols, assault rifle, shotguns, and you get to pick 2. And so I kind of like each javelin. I'm kind of like, okay, this guy's going to be using pistols and shotguns. This one's using snipers, and I'm kind of in my head trying to keep it that way. Mm-hmm. So that it keeps that variety, and it's fun because it forces me. I'm not a big pistol person, but I kind of like some of the machine pistols. I kind of like using the heavy pistols, but I had to force myself to do that. Instead of using the same guns, I just cycle through on each one. So each one is a difference. I think it's a whole lot more fun than Destiny is now. I don't know when the in-game content comes out how much fun it will be.
This month, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But we still got a ways to go. I'm trying not to get too far ahead, and when I've gotten ahead, I'm joining like H&M's game, so I'm doing the missions. I've already done some of them. I've already done some of the missions, but I'm still getting loot. I'm still getting the experience for doing it. A couple of things I don't quite understand, like how the money system works, like when you get your money and how it's...
Never messed with anything. I've never bought anything or used it for anything.
Yeah, It's got a lot of fire underneath it, though, from BioWare. It's catching a lot of flack because of its EA, because of the damn microtransactions, because there's no armor. That's the big thing. It's like there's no other armors that you can get other than you can craft a few pieces, and every once in a while they put a new set or something where you got the thing that you can buy, but there's nowhere in the game for you to earn or find armor.
Yeah.
And that's... making a lot of people mad because customizing your javelin is like half the fun. Yeah, the functionality it is, but you want to change the look, not just the color of everything. I want a different headpiece. I want a different shoulder piece. I want a different, torso piece, And so far, the only way to get that is pay money. They just released an update last week with Elysium chests. When you do a stronghold, they pop up 4 Elysium chests that you have to have a key for that you can get, and it will unlock. It doesn't unlock armor, which they said that it was going to, and then they reneged on it. Mm-hmm. They said it was. I watched the podcast where they said the Elysium Chest download was going to have armor, and then he tweeted out, I forget the guy's name, but he tweeted out that, yeah, it doesn't have armor. It's got decals, it's got emotes, it's got all this other customizable stuff, but it doesn't have that. And even then, to get an Elysium key, you have to do some of the challenges, which I have yet to do, but I haven't spent a lot of time on that yet.
I feel bad for BioWare because, like, Mass Effect was just so...
They're catching a lot of hell about it, and they're like, EA, talk to EA. Because it's classic EA, you know, they're focusing on microtransactions, and they want to, it's losing some, they said it's losing some fan base because of that, and they're hoping, like, they're going to...
Unfortunately, BioWare is the face, so they're the ones that's going to catch the most flack for it, stuff along those lines. But, okay. So is that it for you, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay. So, they announced Google Stadia this week.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have any thoughts on that? Any ideas of Stadia? Did you see that announcement and what that was? Specifically, Brett?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. So
What's Google?
Yeah. So Google has thrown their hat in the ring for, like, video games.
Streaming
basically.
video games.
But the thing for them is that they are going to be a streaming video game service, so that you can play your game. You won't have like a console. Everything is run on their servers on their end, and you can play on your phone, play on a tablet, play on a crappy PC, play on a Chromecast that's attached to your TV, and you just use the controller that comes with it.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard about, like, Ubisoft partnered with them to do play Assassin's Creed Odyssey on like any like $200 Chromebook. Like they did, like apparently it worked pretty well for people that had good internet. So it's like you don't physically have the game installed on the PC, you're just playing it off the Google servers.
So the ideas of the game is the service they were talking about would be like, say you're watching a trailer for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It ends, you can be like, you can play Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now, and you can, if you're in Google Chrome, you can then click on the video button thing and it'll instantly load Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and you'll instantly be in the game. They said that their goal would be to get you in the game within 5 seconds. To go from watching the trailer to playing the game in 5 seconds. And it's one of those things, like watching it, it was like, okay, this is kind of impressive. But then you're sitting there going, okay, what kind of internet do you need? Do I need to be in San Francisco and have the super high tier internet to be able to do this properly? Because, of course, and then it's like, I'm sitting there going, I play a lot of competitive stuff where latency is going to matter. And the idea of, like, my mouse movement has then got to go to the computer, to their server, process it to everybody, and then come back to me that my movement registered. Is where I'm sitting going,
Well, I think I can't remember where I heard this from, but it's possible. I think because typically you have your instance on your, maybe a little technical or nerdy here for a second. Yeah, technically you have your instance on your PC. The server like hosts the game, so you have your inputs and you have to send the inputs back. But with the Stadia thing, everything happens on the server. It's pretty much like beamed it out, so it might help a little bit.
Yeah, I think their thing was like the way it hosts and it spreads out to then the ISP server. Now it says it's supposed to go to like everyone goes to the ISP, goes to Google's, and then comes back. Like it's one pathway. It's not branching so much that for different machines to try and process the same information. It's every information is being processed by the same machine, the same server. It'd be interesting to see if it works. They said you're going to have 25 megabytes per second download to run at 1080p, 60 FPS, is what they said. We'll see if that's true.
Yeah.
Because I tried to do the Google stream thing that they had. Like I signed up for it and I had it. And when I went to launch it, it told me my connection wasn't good enough. And I was like,
speeds?
I have like 200 down. And so I was like, it's like, check your cables and your connection and stuff. I was like, everything else on my machine runs perfectly fine. I go to speed test and I'm hitting 290 at times. And so I was like, what? Like, I don't think it's going to be for everybody. But it's interesting the thought process of being there. And, Google has the money to throw the resources at to try and make it work. They have Phil Harrison's in charge of it, who was in charge of Xbox way back in the day. So he kind of knows what he's talking about. The good one that was in charge of Xbox.
Yeah.
Back when Xbox was good.
Not the metric guy.
Yeah, not Don Metric, who torpedoed Xbox One on launch.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. But Xbox is also throwing their hand in the ring for this stuff with XCloud.
Yeah.
And that it's going to be... They're hoping to be like, you'll have one little box that you would buy. And so the idea is like, hey, you'll be able to get a brand new introduction to the next Xbox.
Phone too, supposedly.
Yeah, and to get you into the door into their ecosystem and stuff, and you'll be able to buy like the brand new Xbox thing for $100, and you get access to all the games and stuff along those lines. But it'll all be digital, like it won't be. But versus like the hardcore people that like, I like having the box and the processing power and everything right there. You can also have that version too. So it's interesting tech. I'm interested to see where it goes.
It'd be great for downtime at work, maybe to play a couple games. But
it really sucks when your internet goes out.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to play. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm optimistic about it. It's definitely something cool. I'm probably going to stick with the Xbox because I'm already giving them money and things like that. So I'm sure they'll probably like...
It's one reason
with
why
your
I like physical
live
disc copy, too. Having a physical disc
Now, this isn't a new system. It's playing the current games, right?
Yes. As far as...
Like, this isn't the new generation. Like,
not yet.
No,
Google is basically like
concrete.
showing that they'll... Like, their stuff, since everything's on their server base and stuff like that, they can upgrade as the systems go along. Like, they just take out the graphics cards to put in new graphics cards.
AMD comes up with a new thing, there's like,
they just upgrade their servers and it's done. So you wouldn't have to worry about buying the new console and stuff along those lines. Their systems would do it. The idea there, because they were saying they can do 4K, they'll eventually be able to go up to 8K, and when the systems are when it's there and the technology is there. So it will be interesting to see if that's where it goes or not. But thought my spike was a little weird, and I was like, if I've been talking to the wrong end of this freaking thing the whole time. So it would be interesting to see where it goes, and Xbox is throwing their hat in the ring, but Phil Spencer was saying how like he sounded like a memo thing, like talking about how excited Google's announcement was, and that for E3 they'll be able to throw their hat in the ring of showing what the next idea is supposed to be. And everyone's talking about the next generation of Xbox, and Xbox and PlayStation, everything's probably coming in 2020 for the next consoles and the next generation, which it technically will be time. It'll be 7 years.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes.
Really cool idea if it works.
Thoughts? Anything?
Oh, I mean, I'm looking forward to the next generation of Xbox, but I want the console. I don't care about the streaming. My internet's good, can be, but I definitely don't want to rely on. I can't play a game unless my internet's up. That's not something I want. I have a friend of mine who has an Xbox One. Has no high-speed internet connection, so he constantly has to bring his whole Xbox to my house to download. He got Black Ops 3, got to the point where it would crash every time because it needed an update until he brought it to my house to update.
That's crazy.
Which I find funny in the fact that when Microsoft had the idea of launching Xbox One, and they were like, you'll have to connect to the internet like once a day and all sorts of stuff, and I was like, no! What about the thing is like, now we're going to the point, now it's like, if you don't have a connection to the internet with your console,
it doesn't work.
It's not going to work. Like, every game has a day one patch that's like 40 gigs. Yeah. And then you see like the actual physical disc only has like 500 megabytes. Yeah. It's basically enough to boot the game and get it to the actual update.
Install this stuff.
So it's interesting the fact that like where Xbox was going and stuff is now where we are, but people threw a fit about it in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever. Last thing, and then we'll call it quits because it's getting pretty long. But we said we'd probably go an hour and a half, so we're an hour and 13 minutes. Is Borderlands 3 was announced, and finally they confirmed it's real. They actually are calling it Borderlands 3.
Guns with legs.
They had 1 billion guns.
We got you, boo.
Yep.
1 billion guns. That's billion with a B. Which I don't understand how you can have that many guns. Like, I don't know what they count as like a gun. Is like if the damage is off by 1 point, does that also count as a gun?
That's probably what they're doing.
So I'm sure that I don't see how you can draw and come up with a design for 1 billion guns.
Yeah.
But Borderlands 3 was announced, and we've had one person on this podcast that has been talking about Borderlands 3 being announced for a while. So, Brett, what are your thoughts on Borderlands 3?
Yeah, whatever.
What?
Chris, why don't you run us down you are the biggest Borderlands fan I know, and Agent M, because she's been right there with you. But since she's not at the table, you had to be our de facto Borderlands expert. You played all the Borderlands, you played all the DLC, you know how the games work. What are your thoughts on Borderlands 3?
It's very exciting. It looks like it's going to feel just like Borderlands. I like the gameplay trailer, but the teaser told you more. Like when I look at the teaser, you can see Brick, Mordecai are in it. Tiny Tina is in it, but you can see she's older, so they're talking, it looks like 5 to 10 years later after Borderlands 2. You kind of figure out who the bad guys are at the beginning. It looks like I said, Moxie's back, Ellie's back.
Pretty much bringing everybody.
Sir Hammerlock. I did not see Torg. I want.
Good call.
I want to believe he's there.
He has to be.
He has to be there, but he did. I looked. I slowed it down and looked, and I did not see Torg.
I just want to know, is Claptrap back?
Oh yes, Claptrap's in it.
I'm dancing.
Claptrap's back in it. The story, I don't know what it's going to be, but the fact that they're bringing in the character, noticeably, though, your playable Vault Hunters from Borderlands 2 were not in the teaser at all. They are in the trailer. I saw that, but I don't know what kind of role it is. It looks like there's new Vault Hunters, and
that'd be kind of cool to like if they keep the same cadence. Like you're playing as 4 new people, but all the old characters you used to play as.
Yeah, they're all coming back in some way, shape, or fashion. So, Lilith is in it, but I've seen rumors, reading online, because of course I went diving, and the rumors are, could Lilith be one of the bad guys? Could she?
Oh no.
Have turned, because she's not with everybody else. Like, why is she separate? There's, that kind of a thing. So, have no idea, but I am so looking forward to it because I love the co-op of it. I love the grind of it. I love the, the different guns. There's a shift code in the teaser.
Yeah, I caught that too.
Yeah, that apparently gets you some kind of Borderlands 3 themed gun in Borderlands 2. But there's some Morse code also in the bottom. Yep. Down at the bottom. I forget what it said, but it was nothing worthwhile. There's an Atlas symbol in it, so they're thinking that Atlas is behind all the...
So they're kind of the new Hyperion, pretty much.
Because Atlas is the one that made the guns with aliens in it, and if all their advertisements talked about godly, how godly their guns are, and with the way all the psychos were worshiping these new bad guys, it's like it looks like Atlas might be pulling the strings and kind of doing that. So, the rumors are running rampant, of course, but the fact that the gameplay looked amazing, it looked like it was Borderlands, it looked like it was ready. That's the important thing.
It looked like it was a modern version of Borderlands.
Yeah,
like it was like watching it, I was like, wow, this thing looks really pretty. Like the lighting and stuff along those lines. You can still tell it's Borderlands from the shell shade and stuff along those lines that's on it. But I was like, this is some quality work the way it looks.
Well, they've had long enough to work on it.
A little bit.
But there again, it doesn't. I'm hoping, like I said, it doesn't feel like a rushed out the door game, because we've had games before that took forever and they were still rushed out the door. It doesn't look like that. I'm just waiting. They said April 3rd they're going to be making some more announcements concerning it, so I hope they'll announce the actual release date. I
don't see them doing it then.
Well,
I think it could be something that, like, because at E3 with Xbox being like pretty much the last big console manufacturer, because Sony pulled out of E3 and EA's pulled out of E3, but EA obviously wouldn't do anything with this game.
I didn't hear Sony pull out. Why did they do that?
Sony? Yeah, they pulled out a few months ago because they said that they're not going to have a conference. They're not going to be there.
Yeah, and
because they said they didn't have anything new to show that they felt would be warrant enough to have a conference.
When has that stopped?
Yeah. And so they pulled out, and so they're doing little direct stuff, and they want to do like a Nintendo Direct. They did their first one with Sony, did their first like 20-minute thing. Like, here's a video of like what's coming up in the next couple of months, and they're going to do stuff like that, and then have probably their own event, PlayStation Experience and stuff, PSX. But yeah, they're not going to. So Microsoft, like when Sony announced that, Microsoft was right there, like, we'll see you at E3, and so Phil Spencer and stuff has been prepping them pretty hard to be like, hey, we have to come out, like, they're like, we could back off a little bit, or we can come out fist swinging, like, hey, we're back, we're here. And the rumors were saying is that basically Xbox is going to come out swinging. And so I could see them on stage, Microsoft stage, here comes Randy Pitchford, let me show you some gameplay from Gears, from Borderlands 3, walk you through some things for Borderlands 3, and then at the end, the release date, October 1st this year, kind of thing. You're like, oh, shit.
I can see that. Because Gearbox and Xbox have been having fun on Twitter.
Yeah, there've been a lot of like their Twitter accounts have been going back and forth as far as like eye emojis and like little stuff and everything, and so and then it's always been linked to Xbox. Well, it always was on PlayStation. It's always been the end of every trailer was always Xbox, so it's always been attached to Xbox. So I could see them being on Microsoft stage. And that's when I think, like, April 3rd is going to be more like, hey, check out, here's some new trailer stuff, maybe show you an idea of some gun things.
Some more details.
Here's some stuff about Borderlands, the HD Ultra collection thing of Borderlands 1 coming, and little things like that. But as far as, like, the deep dive release date, something that important, I don't think they would do until E3. And I could see them doing it on Xbox's stage. Yeah. Anyways, sorry.
Then I also read they're going to talk about Halo Infinite at E3.
More than likely.
Gears is supposedly this year, isn't it?
Yeah. Basically, they said the rumors for Infinite are that one, they wanted to make sure they did it right, and they knew people were upset about the story and stuff along those lines. So, and the fact that like the engine they were using for 5 was like has been the same engine they've been using the entire time. So.
The story sucked.
Right. So they're rebuilding the engine, and then to new stats, to new ideas, to then new gameplay ideas and stuff along those lines. But the rumors were give 343 more time to build the engine and then build the game on top of it, and to have it as a launch title for the next Xbox. And because the only Xbox that launched with a Halo was the original Xbox, because the 360 2 came out the year before it, and then 3 was in 2007, Reach was in 2010, 2012 was when we got 4. So it's like there's never been a launch of the console to go with you think Xbox, you think Halo, and they've never been there at the same time. So the rumors are that like they'll do Gears this year, and then next year when they announce the next Xbox, and the Xbox, whatever they're calling it, is coming out, day and date, Halo's going to launch with it. So that's the rumors for the next Halo. So we probably won't see Halo till 2020. But we're getting a Halo this year, at least on PC. The Halo Master Chief Collection is coming to PC.
I uninstalled that 150 gigs of waste of space.
They're actually going to, they're doing Halo Reach, they're adding Halo Reach.
Yeah, they're going chronological.
Now they're going to go chronological release, so they're going to do Reach, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
One ODST, like in between 2 and 3. That took place during 2, right?
Yeah. So I think they're since it came after 3, I think they'll do more of 2, 3, ODST, 4, 5. Actually, I don't think 5's coming. It's just 4.
5.
Yeah, 2, 4. Anyways, but that's what they're saying. So we good? We're done? Okay.
Well, Borderlands, I saw mechs and miniguns, so...
Yeah, guns with legs. That's all we know.
Miniguns, though.
And miniguns. Shocker. Andrew likes miniguns. And blowing things up. Shocker. Okay, so we're going to end it here. You can find us on Twitter at VAHOMA_podcast. I am VAH_Annihilator because somebody still has Annihilator method on Twitter, and it really freaking bugs me that I can't get it back, though that person does not use that account ever.
I didn't know that.
And I tried to even like claim it on Twitter, and they came back saying like there's not enough sufficient to show that this person's claiming to be me. And I was like, unless I copyright the term annihilator method and then make it like where I'm using it as a brand to make money, like that's the only way I'll be able to get off of that.
Email say, I'll give you $20.
Make a T-shirt. I'll buy it.
So, so I got to find a way to like for whatever reason. So it's like it was. And so it's very. That's why I'm VAH_annihilator. Anyways, sidetrack. Very freaking random. Andrew is MetalBlade85 on Twitter. On Twitch, he's also MetalBlade85, though he never streams.
Nope. I'd like to, but...
you can find me on Twitter every night at twitch.tv/annihilatormethod. Twitch.tv/annihilatormethod. Boom, nailed it. I stream every night. I'm affiliated now, so if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. Which means, give your friend your sub. Just saying. Just saying. Agent M. Just saying. Anyways... Andrew's a real friend, though. He uses real money. So
I don't feel like remembering to renew every month. It's like, just take it.
Bert can be found on Twitter at MudDobber24. Boom, nailed it. Chris is Hank Nova 316 or Ludacris 316 because he has two of them because that's how cool he is. You can find our stuff on YouTube at VAHOMA Podcast on YouTube. I was about to say youtube.com/VAHOMA Podcast, but that's not what we have. Because you had to have a certain amount of subscribers to be able to have your own special YouTube link.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, you can't just create and have your account like be a thing. You have to have so many subscribers and stuff. Exactly. So
subscribe.
So subscribe, like and subscribe to the video. No phone.
Did Bixby just troll you?
I guess. So like and subscribe to the video. That'd be appreciated. You find my stuff. I changed the Target Brand 2552 account to youtube.com/annihilatormethod. So it's my video. It's my account now. You can find my videos there. And
Party Like Spartan video?
Party Like a Spartan video is still there. At a whopping like 212,000 views. And still amazing that it got that many views. Like I said, I sent you that thing where randomly somebody commented like 2019 on here, like, and then it was like, and the person was like, I still know every word of the song. I was like, oh my god. So anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, for making it this far. We really appreciate it. And that's it. Bye.